The first is the single finger mode, and you can just sort of run your finger around the screen and particles will spawn where your finger is. And if you hold it still, it will kind of radiate like this, and you can sort of move your finger around. And so you can use big gestures or you can use very small movements. The very small movements can create different effects. And throughout Uzu, the gestures can be big and dramatic, and they can also be very subtle to create different effects. So let's move on to two fingers. When you do two fingers, you're going to get this sort of attractive area like this. You know, and it'll get bigger and smaller depending on how wide you go. And you can do fun things like put the fingers out here and grab all of them, collect them, and sort of start to move it around. And of course, the faster you move it, the different color particles will move to the outside, which is a lot of fun. You can use this to collect fireballs and throw them and all sorts of things. Let's move on to three fingers. When we put three fingers down, we're going to get this sort of vortex thing. It's kind of fun. So 5 fingers. Now this is where it gets interesting. You can grab the whole thing with your hand like this and sort of move it around. And you'll notice that it moves sort of in a 3D perspective here. You can throw it, stop it, move it around. This is one of my favorites. This is just sort of the grab them and throw them mode. So you can be in any of these other modes, say like 3 fingers. I'm going to put 2 fingers down and it freezes it, and I can move it around in 3D space and throw it. I can do that from any of the other modes. I can go into the 5-finger mode and freeze it and move it around, which is a lot of fun to do, to sort of get the thing in the different shapes and freeze them and then see what you have. At 7 fingers, we have the spiral. Now, the spiral is kind of interesting. If we get our hand sort of centered here, the spiral will also react to the same type of interaction that the 6-finger mode reacts to, in that you'll be able to expand and compress to get different things to happen, and then also translate to offset the various curves. And then from here, if you can, of course, you can lift 2 fingers, go right in that 5-finger mode, check your spiral out. That's kind of fun. And then make it go again. You can sort of do this even while you're moving it around. All right, 9 fingers, we get a little different. We do this, and now each finger sort of gets its own little, I don't even know what to call this shape. Some people have called it a little butterfly, a little springy rubber band thing. We're going to go into 10 fingers. 10 fingers is where you're going to control the color and the size of the particles. At 10 fingers, you notice everything just freezes. Let me get a nice shape and see if I can transition it. We're going to go down. Well, it makes it freak out a little bit. So we're going to slide forwards and back to change the hue, and left and right with our hands to change the size. So go something big and blue. And we can play with it. And we can just do this on the fly. You can just, whenever you want, grab with both hands, change the color, change the particle size.